So my name is Adrian Nantchev, and this channel is all about helping you become a remarkable entrepreneur. So click on the subscribe button below and press the bell notification right next to it for the latest uploads. Now, why is it that you should start a business? It's simple. One word: control. Control. You control your time, you control your income, you control your future, you control your destiny, you control what you do on a day-to-day basis. You control everything. You see, nothing wrong with being employed. It's great, it's fun, it's whatever. Some people call it golden handcuffs actually. But the thing is, you lose control. You lose control of a lot of things. For example, if the boss is not happy with you, what you going to do? Arguably, he could fire you. If he fires you, that's it. Your one source of income is gone. But in business, you got all these different customers. If one person's not happy with you, one of them isn't happy with you, they ask for a refund, or they fire you by not doing business with you anymore. But it doesn't matter. There's so many other customers that are willing to pay you money, it doesn't matter. So business is about being free. That's the key word there, free. It's about being your own person, having your own life, controlling your own future. It's about reducing regret as well. It's about saying that if I don't try this, just try. If I don't try it, then I can't regret it in the future. So, on your deathbed, age 123 odd, thinking, oh, had I done this when I had the chance? Oh, if only. Why didn't I? I had time, energy, health, momentum, opportunity, blah 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 blah. No dedication, no commitments, and it's like, well, I didn't, and it's like, that's regret. So it's about controlling how much regret you have in life, because that's why I started business, and I can tell you now that 100 years from now, I can tell you that I will not have much regret from doing the things. Actually have opposite. I'll have regret through action rather than inaction. Regret from saying, oh, why did I do that? That's such a stupid thing. Why did I do this or do that? Why? Instead of, when this is worse, why didn't I do that? Why didn't I? Why? When that eats away at you. Regret through inaction. Other thing is money. Money, when you understand how money works and not how it thinks, quote unquote, how it behaves, quote unquote, you can create more of it. Firstly, it's worth understanding that the only power money has over you is the power you give it. Because money is just paper. It's just plastic, it's just coins and metals, it's just digits on a screen. The only power it has over you is the power you give it. It's not going to do anything to you unless you give it that power, unless you give it permission to. And the only opinion you have towards it is the power you give it. And that's shaped by your surroundings, your family, your future, everything. It's worth understanding also that money really is a tool and sales is a noble art. In business, it's all about sales, it's all about making profit, it's all about making money. And that is to do with what's called the invisible hand principle, which I must get onto in a moment. But money is a tool to allow you to do bigger and better things in your life. The more you give people what they want, the more they're going to give you what you want. So if you give people what they want, product or services, or anything, enlightenment or education, whatever, or reassurance, they're going to give you what you want, which is money, trust, reputation, respect. The things you might deserve, you deserve it, but how do you earn it? Big difference right there. See, a lot of people will think, oh, I deserve a pay rise. They deserve one, but they haven't earned it. They deserve it with regards to they've been patient and they've done stuff, but they don't earn it, as in to justify it. Justify it to the marketplace, justify it to the boss, etc. But if you own a business and you yourself are in charge, and you earn it, you earn it by justifying it, and the company can afford it, and it's all based around you and your performance. Because if you get better, so does the company. But if you get better, the person you're working for doesn't necessarily recognise that, and it doesn't always catch up with you. So the more value you bring to the marketplace, the more you give people, the more you're going to get back. So if you can give 10 times the amount of value as your competitor, then you can justify. You might not you deserve, but you might not justify getting 10 times the amount of income for all sorts of different factors, marketing wise or trust or all sorts of reasons. So the invisible hand principle. So what that means is here's a story for you, or an analogy, or a proverb. A baker wants to get rich. This baker bakes bread. He bakes, bread with cinnamon and all the rest, and I don't know, flour and self-raising flour, all the good hearty stuff, and ginger and whatever else. So the baker wants to get rich. So he has a choice. You can either get rich through scamming people and stealing from people, or legit. Scamming and stealing works in the short term, but people catch on. Reputation, word catches on, and people then catch on to the scam, and they boycott his business, or worse, or much worse. But the opposite to that is legit. So what the baker does is he can bake good quality bread at, say, £1 or £1 for a loaf, and he sells it. People are willing to buy it because he has more like flour and bread than he has money, and he wants to exchange that. And other people out there have more money than they have bread, and they're hungry, so they want food, so they're willing to a voluntary exchange. Perfect, great. It's voluntary. That's what matters. It's not by force, not by violence, or the threat of violence. It's voluntary. Here's bread, here's £1. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. So that baker then, he's making money. He's selling bread. Great, good on him. And then you can say, I want to make more money. I want a bigger house or another car. So how does he do that? He to get what he wants, he has to give people what they want. So that then means he has to provide more service to people to justify and deserve the extra car. So how does he do that? Well, he's got a few choices. He can either buy more flour and buy more other stuff like that to be able to bake more bread in a single 24-hour period. So rather than selling 100 loaves a day, he can sell 200 loaves a day. Ooh, very good. And or he can find ways of reducing costs and reducing expenses. So one loaf costs not £1 but 50p instead. And the profit margin could be just as much or even higher, I don't know. So he can then sell twice as many loaves of bread in a single day. And that means that people either have more bread, so there's more supply, so more people can buy from him, and or more people can go in there and buy more loaves of bread. If I've got £2, for example, yesterday I could only buy 2 loaves of bread, but today I can now buy 4 loaves of bread. And now I'm richer. I'm richer because I've got more loaves of bread, I've got more food, and he's richer because he sold it, he sold more bread, so he's richer because of that. He's solving the customer's problem of hunger, and we are rewarding him through the solving of said problem. And therefore we enrich him because he's enriching us. We want bread, but we're not doing anything about it. He comes along and says, I've got bread, £1 each, and £1, oh, money, it's a value of exchange, a store of value. It's work and energy. It's fascinating stuff even right there. So then he's making all this bread, and he justifies the income and justifies the extra cars or things like that because he is solving a problem for them. So that's what capitalism, without going too economical, that's what capitalism is all about. And that's what business is all about as well, solving problems for people. And that's why you want a business, because you then decide what exact problems you want to solve in the world. Because you can work for a company, but it's not really doing and not truly fulfilling what you want to do or what difference you want to make in the world. But if you have your own company, you can do whatever you want. You can make that difference, make that change in the world that you want to see. And that's what it's all about. Also, a few years ago, in August 2015, I was at this little business camp thing about learning the ultra basics of business, in the UK certainly, and ultra basics of everything. And there was this guy there who was 60 odd years old. He was an electrician. And for 20, 40 odd years, probably 40 odd years, he'd been bending low at the plug sockets to do like skilled labour with electricity and all that kind of stuff. And he told me that his back was going bad. It might be a lack of vitamin K actually, I don't know, but he's having some back problems. And he says he has to have a teenager with him to do the physical work, bending low to the plug sockets and all the rest. And I then click on and I realise, well, if you've been doing this the last 40 odd years, let's say you started at age 20, what you need to do for the first few years is do it yourself, but then afterwards, this skilled labour stuff, carpentry and all the rest, and I don't know, plumbing, electricity, you need to then have an office and then hire people who are teenagers or early 20s to do the physical work for you, and you do the pencil pushing and the paperwork and the admin. You get the clients in, they do the work. And that's being smart with your time and your health, because a lot of people in the world don't value and appreciate their time. They don't understand that money, that their time has value, and they don't appreciate that. They don't connect the two dots together. They don't say, my time is equivalent to this. They just think it is in like, this is the money you're going to get per hour, this is it per day. They don't really, not everyone, but they don't always think beyond that. And that's a bit of a shame, because there's much more to it than just getting paid an hour. So he was working as an electrician, and his back was worn out. So I then say, as I said earlier, do the work, and then go into the admin, go into the behind the scenes kind of thing, and let other people do the work for you. Because time is very important, and health is important as well. You don't really want to be doing the job for 40, 50 odd years, because there's a thing called the 40-40-40 rule, working 40 hours a week for 40 years, and because of inflation, which is a completely different topic as well, your savings are worth 40% less. And it's like, is that really the life you want? You're constricted by somebody else's rules, regulations, and lifestyle, or their work, their office, building ultimately another entrepreneur's dream. Is that really what you want in life? No. No. So it's like having a company of your own. You have true power over what you do with your time and your energy and what you dedicate your time to. There's so much more to life than working, living, paying taxes and dying and paying the mortgage, death contract. There's so much more to it than that. And people don't understand that. Some people do, some people don't. Nothing wrong, but it's like, people have got to understand there's more to life than just that. Whether they act upon that knowledge or not is a completely different topic, but there's more to life than what is currently presented to you, especially to this day and age. So much opportunity out there. If you know something, I've been saying to people that it is possible to make 100 grand a year teaching people how to make the perfect pancake. And there are so many different ways to monetize that, and so many different ways to get that off the ground. It's ridiculous. And it's like, that's the kind of day and age we live in right now. You can make 100 grand teaching people how to make the perfect pancake online. I'm telling you, it's a crazy world we live in, but so much opportunity. And it's a case of, will you take it? Down to you. So my question of the day to you is, are you starting a business? Yes or no? Are you starting a business? I am. I already have done a few. I'm now moving on from one company to this personal brand. I want to build reputation on myself and do a few other things afterwards with investing, with a few business partners, stuff like that. So yeah. But are you starting a business? Yes or no? If yes, why so? If no, how? Why? Please explain and comment below. But remember that this channel is all about helping you become a remarkable entrepreneur. So go out there today and do something remarkable. But in the meantime, however, click on the subscribe button and press the bell notification right next to it for the latest uploads. How cool is that?